Don't mind me if I'm looking crazy right now. I just woke up. Today was a pretty damn good day. Let me see. Today's Saturday. Yeah, today is Saturday. Turn off these lights. Got bills to pay. It's funny how like the older you get, like how much of a like adult you become. Okay, let me get this started. Ugh. I was hoping that what I would do, but I'll just talk about today. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about today. The hell is that? I look crazy. Yeah, I look crazy. You could just tell I didn't get ready. you you can just tell I didn't get ready at all for this. But whatever. I want like I said, we're gonna go live every single day for at least 2 hours. I got my water too. Get that out the way. All right. So just woke up, feeling good. Had my fight interview today. Um, I give it a solid B, B plus. I would say. When I had my interview, I said a lot of ums and ahs. I hate when I do that shit. Like when you're having an interview, like I think like true confidence is when you don't stumble on your words. And yeah, I said the again. But I hadn't been practicing. Did you know that you could actually practice? Sorry if I look crazy, you guys. I just woke up. But you could practice on the way you speak before you speak. I was working on my visualization. I mean, today, like I did a damn good job today. I was in all of the content forums and all that stuff, so you know, it was pretty good. But I could have did better. We took a bunch of pictures too. I'm gonna make sure I. Well, let me see. So today is what? Today's the 21st, right? Oh, I felt good. I just woke up. Today's the 21st. We are officially. You said this is such a good live stream. Are you fucking with me? Are you fucking with me? Because we just started. Like, we 3 minutes in. You said this is such a good live stream. Are you fucking with me? Because that makes me feel good. What's good? How y'all doing? You believe in God, and if not, can I help you? Let me write that down. I want to talk about God later. Like, we're gonna talk about that. I want to talk about that. I know you're trolling me, but I would like to. We'll talk about if people believe in God. Do you like? Someone said, "I hate you. I love you too." um, do you believe in God? I really want to have a serious talk with you guys about that. Let me see what else you guys are gonna say. You said it's really good. Thank you. Well, no, if you're damn 25 people, where did all you people come from? Where did all you people come from? You said no. God send me here to do what Jesus did. Well, you know what? Let's talk about God. Let's. You said is it better to work out to JJK or One Punch Man? I think One Punch Man, because One Punch Man is very easy to comprehend, and JJK. I think the anime JJK is actually really easy to follow, so maybe JJK. You say yes, I believe in Jehovah God. Okay, so what's this channel about? Oh, this is honestly, so this is a martial arts channel. Everybody like the video right now. Like the video, just like the video. This is a martial arts channel, but it's not just any type of other martial arts channel. It's what I like to talk about is regular martial arts, and then I want to transition into talking about more serious matters. I mean, we could talk about art, we could talk about religion, we could talk about all types of stuff. But what I really, really want is an audience that is not just about fighting. I feel like most martial art channels only talk about fighting, and that's just martial arts. I want martial artists. I want you guys to go deeper. Sometimes I want to talk about science fiction. Sometimes I want to talk about love. Sometimes I want to talk about relationships. This channel, or at least this live stream for sure, is going to go wherever you guys take it. You know, someone just said, do you believe in God? Someone just said, they talked about anime. He said, God is great, God is love. Yeah, no, we could talk about God. I'm not shy to talk about God because I was very agnostic before. And you say that sounds pretty, that's pretty sound. I most like One Punch Man more. I think One Punch Man, well, the manga is absolutely fucking phenomenal. You said God is best. Do you support Ice? um so I support the idea. Okay, we're gonna talk about that. Do you support Ice? I'm not one of them creators that's scared to talk about heavy hitters. Okay, so what y'all want to talk about first? Ice or God? That sounds so crazy. What do y'all want to talk about first? Ice or God? You said what changed my perspective? Um, well, before we get into which one y'all want to talk about first, Ice or God? Do you support Ice? You know, what y'all want to talk about? God. So we got one God. Go ahead, type God. Okay, no, that's you're the same person. God. That's two. Anybody else? That's two. From being agnostic, God. We got Ice. Talk about Ice, the Holocaust and slavery. That's two. So we got 4 on 2. Ice, God. No, it's still two. Okay, so we're gonna talk about God first. Then we'll talk about Ice. You said we want to talk about the Holocaust too. I'll talk about that. And slavery. I'll talk about that too. We're gonna mix them all together. We're gonna mix Ice, God. No. We're gonna mix Ice, Holocaust, and slavery. I'm not scared to talk about that. Because I know I'm not gonna say nothing stupid. I'm an avid student of history. That's why I do not mind talking about that. You said okay. Okay, so let's talk about God. So for me, growing up, I grew up in a Christian household, like a Christian household. And my dad, he was a preacher, with like assistant preacher and whatnot. So for me, I always hated going to church. Like it was just so boring. I felt it was very performative. Even as a child, I thought it was very performative. So far, but over the course of my life, because my whole family is religious, I would always hear God, God, God. But for me, I was agnostic. For people who don't know what agnostic basically means, it's a person who needs an agnostic is saying, I'm not saying God doesn't exist, but I would need some type of proof. So over the course of my life, I have seen a lot of proof for me to believe that God exists. There's many things that has gotten me out of situations that it was way too coincidental. You get what I'm saying? Way too coincidental for me to have gotten out of certain situations. So that's when I started believing in God. Now I'm gonna get real authentic with you guys because I know a lot of people won't do it. And I'm not here to change your faith. I'm not here to convert. I'm not here to do none of that. I believe, so you guys are very lucky that you're getting this out of me. I truly believe that your relationship with God should be private. I think when I see a lot of people run around, like, no offense to some of you guys who are coming in, sometimes trolling, trying to get likes, talk about God. I think that's very cringe. I really do. I think your relationship with God should be private. And for me, I'm at the stage in my life where I went from agnostic to a believer, where at the moment, this is gonna throw a lot of people off. It's hard for me to believe that Jesus was God. It's really hard for me to believe that. I do believe in God, though. I believe in the Old Testament God, 100%. I've always believed in it as a child. That made sense to me. It makes total sense to me. The covenant, all that makes sense to me. But believing a man was God, I'm still struggling with that. And I think God respects me because I'm very honest about that. I do not believe that right now. And I think there's nothing wrong with not believing that. But the problem with a lot of religious people is when you say things like that, you're a non-believer and you're going to hell. And I'm just like, I think it's totally fine to not believe. You said Jesus did not proclaim himself to be God. I know, but like, I feel like, I think, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. See, what I don't do is I do not talk about things or disrespect things that I don't understand. It's just at the moment, it's hard for me to believe that Jesus was God. It's very difficult. I don't believe that. I I do not believe that. If you read the Old Testament, it makes total sense. It makes total sense. I promise you guys. If you read all the Old Testament and you see and you listen to the way his real name is Yahweh. That's God's actual real name. Like with the Israel's. That's what I said. We're gonna talk about ICE, Holocaust, and slavery. We're gonna talk about that stuff. But his real name is Yahweh, right? Yahweh don't play, dog. Yahweh don't play. Like it makes sense. Like it's easy for me to understand. He was fully man, fully God. He was the second Adam who came to save the world from what the first Adam did. You, we are gonna talk ICE, but we're on the topic of God right now. I'm just telling you guys, and it's okay. This is why I want you guys to understand, because we're in a time where people do not understand that it's a problem to disagree. It's just I'm at the point where I wish I was studying a lot more with my religion, to like really show you guys what I discovered. I was not expecting to talk about God, right? Basically, because I always keep that to myself. I was expecting to talk about a little bit of fighting, but yeah, like when you like even certain things in the Bible, like the fact that the Bible got lumped in with the New Testament. There we go. Ooh. Here we go. I'm cooking. The New Testament is not really the New Testament. How do I say this? Hold on, watch this. Did y'all know that the New Testament is missing a lot of its pieces? Like they took a bunch of scribes, different stories, because back then there was multiple New Testaments. Just look up the Apocrypha, right? That right there, when I found out that there was different like versions of the New Testament, I'm like, what are you guys talking about? What do you guys mean? I haven't heard that there's different versions of the Old Testament, but there's many different versions of the New Testament. There's even like there's a Gospel of Judas. There's a Gospel of Mary. Like there's all like, bruh, like it's to me. I'm gonna say it just like this, and then we can move on to the next thing. I'm gonna talk about ICE. Don't worry. I'm going to talk about ICE, but I had to make sure that y'all understand that if y'all ever want to come talk to me about God, we will talk about that if that's what y'all want to do. But I just don't think that Jesus was God at this time of my life in 2026. I have the right to change my mind later on in life. I have the right to do that. But right now, I just don't think it. I think that when you turn around and you study all of the religions, the Old Testament is the closest that I've seen that makes the most sense. And it links in, because the Old Testament actually, the Old Testament acknowledges that there's other gods. If you pay attention to when Moses went to Egypt, God was having a fade with other gods. That's really what that was about. Like God was fighting the other gods. That's why that's one of my favorite moments in but anyways, it's fantastical, dude. I know some people don't believe in that shit, but like it makes the most sense to me. It makes the most sense. You kill. I don't even think the concept of hell is inside of is the concept of hell inside the Old Testament? God is just like, dude, respect me. That's literally what he's talking about. Respect me, big dogs. Respect me. But then you bring the concept of hell and all this stuff, and it's just like, wait, what? You know? I don't know. The Orthodox Church has the Apocrypha in their Bibles. I'm telling you, it's way too many New Testaments. It's way too many for me to be like, and they have different styles. Like, but speaking of the Israel God, that's what they called him, the Israel God. We're gonna talk about ICE, Holocaust, and slavery. We're gonna talk about that. Okay, this might piss some of you guys off. This might piss some of you guys off. This is gonna be the hard topics that a lot of people are not prepared for. If I disappoint you, I want you guys to understand that we all have a right to discuss and disagree here. Okay? So if you do not like what I'm going to say, just disagree, say your point. I'm gonna read it out loud. So anybody that's in the future that hears this, they hear that that we had an actual discussion, right? Because my word is not law, and I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I'm just here. I'm just like literally, I don't know what the fuck to call myself, but I just want you guys to understand that. Okay. So you said I'm not gonna lie, but thank you. Okay, so do I support ICE? The ICE to me, oh, this is crazy, is America's current first, like, okay, ICE is America's experience of how black people experience the police. ICE, the way America is experiencing ICE and the way they feel that it's an injustice is the way black people have experienced the American police. I want you guys to know that. There's a giant parallel to the way that they're treating people to the way the police have treated black people. Okay? So do I support ICE? Yes and no. Yes and no. I'm gonna tell you guys why. I'm gonna tell you guys why. The reason why I like Trump. Hold on. The reason why I like Trump, and there's a reason why I don't like Trump. When he originally first came into office, there was a couple of things, because I started off Democrat, okay? And then I moved right wing, but then the right wing got incredibly racist and it moved me in the middle. And I found out there is a middle party as well. But it was the foreign affairs, and I did not like this whole open border policy. Wasn't a fan of it. Hated it. You know, did not like the open border policy. So, because we were just letting anybody in. There was at the height of that open border policy, especially under the Biden administration, I'm very fucking woke with this shit. I paid close attention with this shit. There was people coming from other countries taking over parts of our country. Do you guys? I don't know if you guys. Well, I don't know who you guys follow, but there was dudes in Arizona, like some old gangs that was taking over the building complexes and making it theirs. It was like a literal small invasion. And then you had other parts in Europe. If you look at Europe too, fuck America, look at Europe. There were certain parts where they allowed the open border to happen, right? And you would see literal guys come in, and they, like, when you allow open border policies, you allow criminals to come in, and it starts off with them raping the women and yada, yada, yada. Okay? So ICE, I like that ICE is enforcing what they're enforcing. Okay? I like that they're going around getting rid of some people who shouldn't be here. With that said, you said like refugees in Sweden do. Exactly. But with that said, they're doing exactly what the police have done to black people. So the police, if you guys do not know, was originally designed to capture slaves. Okay? The police was originally designed to capture slaves. Now, when you create a system or a department of people designed to hunt people, okay, they are going to do some evil shit. Okay? What they're going, and it gets even crazier. They're not down to de-escalate, they're down to escalate. All right? So ICE, the stars of ICE, of who ICE hunts down, right? And I'm about to go into the what is ICE enforcing border like you have to be a citizen, okay? The same way police enforce like getting rid of the criminals. We both agree that that makes sense, but the method of what they're doing is where it gets dicey. So like when we see a black person get arrested and we're like, he didn't do nothing, right? And then we see a Mexican getting deported, he had a family. You see what I'm saying? It's the same shit. They are designed, but the Mexicans are the stars of the show right now. But there are other people that are getting deported. Okay? But let's go back to I'm about to break something down to you guys of why I haven't flinched when I seen what ICE was doing. Because the parallels of them and the police are the exact same thing. They said Jesus was God in the flesh. ICE is supposed to be stopping illegal immigration. Yes, they are. But now this goes back to the 13th Amendment. Let me show you guys something. Slavery was never abolished. Do y'all know that? I'm about to blow y'all fucking mind. Slavery was never abolished. Go look it up. In the 13th Amendment, and I'm going to do it for you because I always made sure I understood this. In the 13th Amendment, it said a man is not a slave unless he's a criminal. A man will not be treated like a slave unless he's a criminal. Okay. This is why the push to make blacks look like criminals is so huge, to put them back in slavery. That was the whole game plan. Okay? That's why you have standing while black laws, because if you can make them a criminal, you can make them back slaves. All right? So in the American system, and it goes beyond that because you guys don't understand, it's not just about black people. They practice on black people first, and then they do it to the rest of you guys. Back to the Holocaust. Remember it? When they said that there's a quote that said, "I stood by when they went and got this person. I didn't say nothing. I stood by when they went and got this person. I didn't say nothing. I stood by and didn't say nothing when they got this person. But when they came for me, there was no one to say anything." They do that with blacks first. They practice with blacks first, and then they do it to you guys. ICE is just that right there. They killed a woman on camera, and they have practiced this for decades on black people, and they knew exactly how to get around it. They knew exactly how to get around that shit. And now no one talks about Renee Good no more. When I seen what happened to her and the way she got done, they had done that so many times in the 2010s on camera and figured out how to spin it and get around it. I had seen that so many times. Okay? The problem is that when they think you're a criminal, they're going to treat you like a slave. That's how they do you. Okay? So do I support ICE? I do support us stopping illegal immigration. Do I support the police? I do support stopping criminals. But when you look at the undertone of what's going on, these organizations are not built to de-escalate, they're built to hunt. And when they hunt, and because the undertones of slavery, the undertones of treating someone like a slave if they're a criminal, this is what we're going to keep seeing. And I'm not shocked by it. Okay? So, and this is rooted in the system. It's in the system, dog. we would have to do a giant reform on the prison system first. Okay? That's where it would have to start. Because we have private prisons and these people are making gazillions of dollars off of cheap labor. One of the biggest things that I have noticed with nations and principalities and powers is, as humans, is how do we get cheap labor? That's been the biggest thing ever. So what Donald Trump did was he had decided that the Mexicans were no longer was no longer good for cheap labor. And I'm gonna explain why. See, it's all about power, dog. It's all about power. It ain't about like everyone's like, oh my God, they're taking away the Mexican families. The Mexicans are getting too powerful. That's what it was. The Mexican, like, am I being racist saying that? No. And black people can be racist. They can be. Ooh, some of y'all ain't gonna like that one. We can be. But I'll go into that later. But there's a reason why, though. There's a reason why we're like that. But we can be. Some people say black people can't. I do believe black people can. Or prejudice, or extremely prejudiced. We could say that prejudice. Because racism would require, well, no, black people can be racist. But let's go back to the Mexicans. The real reason why they were getting rid of so many Mexicans is because the Mexicans were getting too powerful. They were getting too powerful. And I'm gonna tell you how. Mexicans are racist too. There's a lot, like every race, in my opinion, is racist. Let me say that first before y'all start typing away mad at Smitty, blah blah blah. The way each one expresses their racism is incredibly interesting to me, because I'm gonna show you the way Mexicans do it. Okay. And this is why I kind of hate when the way Mexicans have latched themselves onto black success, because we as blacks include Mexicans in our success, but they will not include us in their success. This is one of my favorite analogies that I've said. I said, take 10 black men or 5, take 5 black men and take 5 Mexican men, right? Let's say all these dudes have the same personality. Now, let's say 5 black men are in a black area that is very successful. And let's say these 5 Mexican men are in an area that's successful, a Mexican area. And for some weird ass reason, let's swap them in the areas. You guys know damn well that all 5 of those Mexican men will thrive in that black area. Will those 5 black men, their same personalities, will they thrive in the Hispanic area? No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. We know they wouldn't. You want to know why? Because the way Mexicans express their racism is through their language. Boom. I had figured this out years ago. This is why, like, them white folks is cold. The way the white power is cold as fuck. Like, when the Mexicans started coming in and they started saying, this is years ago. We don't see it no more, but I pay attention. When they started saying that you needed to speak Spanish to have this job, tell me that shit ain't racist. Tell me that shit ain't racist. It's a requirement. You cannot be here if you can't speak Spanish. That's how they do you. That's why I said that those 5 blacks those 5 Hispanics that would went to the black town, they would all thrive. Even probably be fucking one of the owner's daughters and become a part of it. And now you got descendants of black Hispanic girls with the good hair. You get what I'm saying? But with these black dudes that went to this Mexican town, maybe 1 or 2 would thrive, but they wouldn't probably get it because they can't speak Spanish. Okay, so let's go back to why I said the Mexicans were getting too powerful. They started getting into politics. They started saying that you had to speak Spanish. They started thinking they were white too. That's why they voted Trump in. Deep shit, dude. And once they felt like the cheap, and then they started bringing in the whole family and stuff. But once the white folks figured out that that the cheap labor wasn't worth it, at least the Republicans, the Democrats were banking on cheap labor 100%. And that's why they were asking for open borders. That's why I couldn't roll with what Kamala Harris and all them were saying because of the open border thing. I'm like, bro, y'all are letting criminals in. Like, I'm with you guys, but you guys are letting criminals in this country for free. You know? And I couldn't get jiggy with that because what was gonna happen was, and you know, you got all these people up in here. We eventually we was gonna have to fight that. I'm gonna have to fight that. You get what I'm saying? Like people don't get that. We are letting people who are coming into our country that are not really from our country. They're waving other countries' flags, right? And if shit goes wrong here, they're gonna run back to their country and not let us the fuck back in their country. They're not gonna do that for us, you know. So, do I support ICE? I support stopping illegal immigration. I 100% do. I do not like the way that, well, they started off going for the criminals first because people don't talk about that. When they were going state to state, they were going into the prisons, getting rid of the illegal immigrants in the prisons. That's what they're doing. But what I don't like is don't go to these schools grabbing these young kids out of their classes, you know. And then you want to know something crazy? Y'all want to know something crazy? Y'all know under the Obama administration, a black man's administration, he deported more than Trump ever could. Do y'all know that? Obama deported way more people than Trump. I mean, it's just that, like, right now it's just, you know, like, I just think like the way ICE, like the way ICE is treating them, because I don't think anybody would have cared about ICE if ICE didn't kill a liberal white woman. It's always the white women, dude. Like, I don't think no one would have cared. They just fucked up and killed a white woman, and then for the first time, everyone experienced what black people have been experiencing. It was an Asian girl on TikTok that broke it down. I need to find that, but yeah, that's what I have to say. And then as far as the Holocaust, I think I said. I mean, I don't know what the fuck y'all want to talk about that. Like, I'm not scared to talk about it, but it's so long ago. Like, what, like, you know. I do find it funny though how when we talk about slavery, which happened for 400 years, and then you went through emancipation, Jim Crow, and all that stuff, and everyone's like, "Get over it," but then they want you to remember, they want you to never forget the Holocaust. I mean, you know, I love history, dog. I pay attention. I pay so much attention, and people don't. I pay attention. There's little small things happening. Let me read what you guys say. What's crazy is Spanish is from Spain, from Europe. Mexico speaks Spanish because they were colonized by the conquistadores. Let me tell you about that one too. Let me tell you something cold. What tripped me the fuck out. So, 2018, I had dedicated myself to learn Spanish. 2018. And I got so good at Spanish. I went on Duolingo and everything. And I started studying I started studying the history of Spain. And I found out the actual people responsible for the slave trade was the Spanish. The Spanish Empire was they were some dogs, bro. Oh my God. Like, if you want to know what, like, a good place to study, like, the history of Spain, go on this site called the Great Courses. You might have to pay. I think you have to pay for the Great Courses Plus. They have a whole 30 part, like, 30-minute per session course explaining all of what happened from Spain from the beginning all the way to now. And the Spanish Empire was some of the most grimiest niggas I've ever seen in my life. Okay. I forgot where I was going. Oh, you said it was crazy. So, yeah, you're correct. Like literally, like it's insane. What the Spanish do? So the Spanish came over, and you know what? We gonna talk about slavery. So funny. And that's why I be tripping when everybody be like, oh my gosh. But anyways, let me get back to it. So they started off in South America, and was it Christopher Columbus? It's been a minute since I studied this stuff. Oh, let me explain that part. I found out I studied Spanish in 2018, and I found out that a lot of Hispanics actually Hispanics in America, they actually don't know how to speak Spanish. At least over here in California. It blew my fucking mind. I was like, y'all really don't know how to speak Spanish, but y'all making people speak Spanish, huh? And then like it blew my mind. I was like, because I started speaking actual proper Spanish, and then when I started really listening to them, it's like a mix of, it's like Spanglish, English and Spanish. They really don't know the words. It's just like, that's why I told you Spanish was used as a racist tool to stop people from getting in certain places. But anyways, yeah, the Spanish, the actual Europeans, because Spanish is a white language, actually. That's the funny part. It's a white man's language. But you said that is because their parents did not teach them. Well, exactly. I think in America, the problem is that when we come, whatever culture comes into America, what people don't realize is America is black. So it's kind of like if you have sex with a black woman or a black man, right? The baby kind of comes out black. You get what I'm saying? So that's America's culture. So anybody from anywhere else, when they come to America culture, because they don't understand the undertone of it is black, they their children loses the authenticity of their original culture, and they become Americanized. So that's that. But yeah, the Spanish literally, like, it was like a thing at their time to find a indigenous empire and to destroy it. Like that was an actual thing. An actual thing. They did it to the Inca, they did it to the Maya, they did it to all those dudes. They literally ran around, and I wonder, that's another thing. We was just talking about God earlier, right? And they were saying to convert people to Christianity. Do you know how dangerous, like Judaism, which is the Old Testament, right? And Christianity has done so much, like in the name of Christianity, it's done so much evil shit. So much evil shit. It's crazy, dude. I'm like, no. If I was Jesus, like imagine you died on the cross, right? If you and then in your name, millions was slaughtered because they were trying to force people to see that this is the way of how people should think and believe. Sick, bro. Sick. It's sick, man. But you said all religions have done such. Has Buddhism done it? Y'all need to educate me. I love learning. What about Confucianism? Have they done it? Have they done the magnitude of the Crusades? Have they done that stuff? I'm not being a smartass. I'm actually asking because I haven't heard it. I mean, there's atrocities, like there's politics behind certain things. Yes, 1000%. But in the name of God, I am going to nail you to a cross and turn you upside down. Who's done that? He said Christian missions, manifest destiny, traveled to develop the new world. America was seen as a pilgrimage. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. That's why. Are you Christian? I'm like, hold on now. Mm-mm, I don't know about that, man. And then you know something crazy of why I love the Old Testament so much. All of the guys in the Old Testament were flawed. Every last one of them, they're flawed. Like every last one of them. Like if you look at King David, right? Like King David was in the hood running from Saul, dude. It was King Saul, right? He was in the hood, bro. Like it's just I think actually like you guys are gonna start seeing. You want to know something crazy? If you pay close attention to the way I do martial arts, you will see the parallels of my love for the Old Testament. I thought it was so interesting and eye-opening, like David's story. Talk about King David, David's story, right? This dude is the biggest in an army, and he's a shepherd, right? And he's screaming at everybody for days, talking shit about God, right? David gets tired of it, and he's like, hey, I'm going to kill him. I'll kill the giant. What's his name? Goliath. Okay, right? And because when you read that story, it's crazy. So he goes, they try to put armor on him. He's like, nah, let me use my cloth. Homie gets his cloth and his childhood toy of a slingshot. And Goliath, like in the story, throws javelins at him and misses him, right? And then he, motherfucker, like that is some of the most wittiest shit I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, bro, like this is God's like favorite like human being, you know, like motherfucker, like like come on, dog, shit was crazy, dude, it's crazy. And then like, like it's just it's for me as a very flawed individual. Like it makes like when you listen to like the New Testament, right? They make it as if Jesus was a Superman. They literally make it like Jesus was Superman. Like he was like a mythical Superman before Superman became something. Superman is basically Jesus without powers, dog. So like, but when you look at how did it go from so many flawed men to suddenly, and there's a huge contradiction. Because they're like, well, God came down in human form to show us that he could live life like that. Yeah, but you created everything, my nigga. You created everything. You have the purpose. You know what you're trying to do. You get what I'm saying? There's a contradiction in that logic to me. But anyways, I'm not gonna like I'm very careful with what I say. But now you guys are starting to see why I'm like that shit don't make no sense. But let me read some comments. Roman Empire came after ancient Greece, the original cornerstone of European civilization, and their philosophers and thought leaders idolized Ethiopia and Libya. You want to know what's I haven't studied Africa. I haven't studied Africa like I need to. But I haven't been interested in Africa. I've been interested in Black American history. One thing this is a lot. This is some deep stuff. I feel a lot of people wouldn't want to admit, but it's the truth. Like I just feel like we don't talk about this stuff. As a Black American, I really don't care at the moment about Africa. Y'all sold my ancestors into slavery. Why should I care? Why should I care? Because like, and I read the logic of why they did it. They didn't know, because everyone had slaves. Everyone had slaves back then. You get what I'm saying? Like there was always some type of slaves, but they didn't know that them white folks was going to do what they did with slavery. But at some point, I know they heard the stories because there was even like they had what is it called? They had like folk tales and stuff, or like horror stories. Like if you go to the sea with the white devil, you're not gonna come back home. You know, you're going like when you're gonna go to the sea. So they knew. You know, I don't. You know, when I be hearing about Africa, I'm like it's cool. You know, like they called us years ago the Lost Tribe. I remember that shit. They called us the Lost Tribe. But then when we made being black looking cool, now they want to come over here and say nigga and all this stuff. Let me educate you guys on what nigga is. Let me educate you guys on what that word actually means. I'm about to educate you guys. So the the ER, is a black man hanging from a rope. A nigga is a black man with a gold chain on his neck. A black American man. You know? So now that we are not GERs, the hard R, right? Now that we're not that, and we have the gold chain hanging around our neck, now all of a sudden we're brothers. Now y'all love us. You know? Bro. We gotta be realistic, man. Africa as a continent did not sell other Africans into slavery. This was done by tribal bases where they sold captured enemies or troublemakers. The first let me read that again. Africa as a continent did not sell other Africans into slavery. This was done on a tribal basis where they sold captured enemies or troublemakers. It started as captured enemies. It started like that. It started like that. It started like that. You are correct. It started like that. But then the Europeans blatantly, when they would travel the trade, blatantly said, do you have captured people? We want your slaves. You know, we don't want your gold. We don't want none of that. We want your people. And you want to know something crazy? The way it's so funny because the actual way slavery started was what did they do? They were it didn't even start like that. I think it was like I forgot his name. I used to have the names for all these. I had to write this shit down. But some dude grabbed a couple of like lost black people, and then they traveled back up because it was a river that they came down to go through Africa at that time, and they brought them back to the king, and they was like, behold, these dark people, right? And they was like, oh, that's interesting. They look dirty, but their skin, that's their skin. Well, maybe we could use them for cheap labor. And then they went right back down. They asked for more black people and more black people. And then eventually, like, it just kind of became a thing, you know? And then once they found a new world, see, that's what actually happened too. Did y'all know this? The reason why it became such a global thing for slaves or whatever was because they ran out of indigenous people. It was actually, sorry, a pastor. It was a pastor that was watching them take advantage, grape the and kill the indigenous folk, where he said, why don't y'all use the blacks? And then the Europeans was like, you are fucking right. So they started slave trading blacks. And then he denounced slavery altogether. And now all of a sudden they're like, oh, I forgot his fucking name. I forgot that man's name. It was a pastor though, or a father. Yeah. Let me go back to what you guys. Portugal and Spain started it. Yes, Netherlands monetized it. Dutch East India Company. Yes, you're correct. And England and France made forced labor big business. Yes. It was a big collective, you know. But I'm just saying, like, it started off with the blacks though. They were giving away they folks. And that's why I'd be like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Stop calling me your brother. You would have sold my people into slavery. If I don't know. The one thing I can say is I know my tribe lost. Well, hold up. You know something crazy I also found out? So the majority of the black population went to Brazil. So if you look at it's that's funny too. Like the Caribbeans and the Brazilians, those are actually the Africans that got sold into slavery. Those are the real ones who got sold into slavery. What about me? My people? They said less than 4% of the slave trade came to America. We were bred. That's what happened. We were bred. That's what they did. They bred us. I remember a long time ago, there was this white dude in basketball. It was an old white guy. He was an owner. He was an owner of the NBA team. I think it was the Hornets. And he got canceled at the time because he said that all these blacks are a result of what's the word that I just said? A breeding of some sort or something like that. People got so mad at him, but I was like, no, that's true. I was like, that's true. They bred black people. They because it's literally in the books if you read it. They literally was like, we do not want those people from that dark continent. We got our own people now. We're gonna breed them. We're gonna breed them. We got our own people now. We don't need that because it's easier to make it homegrown than get it. Like they looked at us like dogs. You get what I'm saying? Like you could go get a dog like this. Oh my God, someone's gonna clip me, but whatever. You can get a dog from a shelter, right? And it's like, okay, or you could get a new litter. You get what I'm saying? And that's how they viewed us. They said, okay, we got like y'all got the dogs from the shelters, but we created our own litter. That sounds fucked up, but that's how they did it. So that's slavery for you, man. You see, I guess everyone in the NFL has something to be grateful then in somewhat twisted way. I do know that they bred us, but I don't know, like, I don't know to what extent. Well, then no, because then at the same token, you still have to. Well, shit, I don't know. You might be right. I don't know. Donald Sterling of the Clippers. Okay. There we go. I thought it was the Hornets. But remember when he said that? He was like, "Oh, he said blacks today are nothing but a." It was like, check that out. He was like of a breeding process or something that they did back in the day, and everyone got pissed off at him. And I was like, he's fucking true. Breeding started after the slave trade was abolished. No, they got rid of the slave trade. They actually was denying. They was like, we don't want that shit. Like they kind of accepted a little bit, but after a while, they was like, we don't want that shit. Stop them. We don't want that. America was the first that denied them. They're like, no, we got our own. Which is kind of funny though, because I kind of think about it like, so if the white Americans bred the black Americans, right? And the black Americans are criminals, right? Then isn't it the white Americans' fault? I always said this is, oh my God, this is a crazy life. I hope I don't get canceled. This is where someone comes in and they clip the fuck out of me, but I don't care. Luckily I'm a fighter. Luckily I am a fighter and I have my own stuff. Luckily I can say what the fuck I want to say. But I always said that the white man's biggest mistake, in my opinion, the white America's biggest mistake was they didn't integrate with black people sooner. Like, I felt like, and I think, like one of the biggest topics, like in, like one of the secret topics in the black community, like the old black community, is they wish that we never integrated, right? But I think that the white man's biggest mistake was they didn't integrate sooner. The fascination that white America has always had with black America, I do not know why they didn't I don't know why. You said, based on how we got here and what happens after the ethnicity arrived, you could argue that in some total, yes, it could be argued. Are you saying that they should have bred us out of existence? What do you mean by that? Bred us out of existence? No, I'm saying that they should. So Do y'all know that? Because at one point, people don't know this part. People don't know this part. The only reason, look this up, fact check me, fucking fact check me on this. But the only reason, like at first, you used to be able to work your way out of slavery. You used to be able to work your way out of slavery. There was one case of a black man who worked his way out of slavery. But the reason why they did segregation was because the black man started fucking the white woman. Ooh, y'all didn't know that, huh? Y'all didn't know that, huh? Y'all didn't know that. And then they what did they do? The poor white communities, especially like the Irish, because there was white slaves too. People, it'd be some black folks like, no, it wasn't white slaves in the beginning. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was there. There was. It was. I think it was the Irish. Like the black folks was starting to integrate with the poor white community, and they did not want that shit. They was like, oh fuck no, and they said, okay, blacks, you guys are slaves. Whites, we don't mix with them. That was to stop the poor white community from being like this with the blacks. Indentured servants, yes. They sneak sometimes, very circumstantial, and hiding babies from people who were judgmental. Yeah. Did y'all know that? Like at one point, as a black person, you could like indentured servants has 7-year contract. Yes, but also it was at the time when slavery first started, like it wasn't really slavery like it was. It kind of was, but the way some whites at the time saw it was like, nah, you like there was no like, okay, so indentured servants had, like you said, the 7-year contract, but blacks, there wasn't really no contract. It was just until the master was like, all right, you free. But then when they started having sex with the white woman, I remember on Threads, I wrote it a long time ago. It blew my fucking mind. I wonder if I could find those notes again. They just didn't want the black man fucking the white woman. That's what it was. And then now, here we are in 2026, like literally, like you got it's a lot of white girls getting pile drive. That's all I can say. There was this dude on it's somewhere on YouTube. It's somewhere on YouTube. I guess there's this YouTuber or a streamer. He's like super racist or whatever, and he walks around just being racist, I guess, like towards black people. So he gets with this girl, and yeah, you say in the end they couldn't stop it. Exactly, it's crazy. He gets with this girl, fucking hot little white girl, and I guess she ran a threesome with her homegirl with a black dude, like a little rapper or something. Shit was so funny. So he's on stream, and then I guess the rapper guy started sharing their post saying that it was just, I don't know, it was funny as fuck. And you see him, he all sitting there with his gay ass looking face, and then he's just like, was you really with a black man? She's like, no, I wasn't with a black man. It was just funny as fuck to me. Maybe you guys know who I'm talking about. I don't know, but I seen it recently. It was funny as hell. I forgot his name. I be forgetting these people's names. He said Bacon's Rebellion of 1676, 1677 implemented the slave codes and was the start of race-based hierarchy in the country. I think it was a little bit before that. Because it was a little bit before that, because the original blacks came in at 1619. Fact check me. 1619. And then at the time that it was like a few years after that or so. I don't know. I haven't done my research in a while. I wasn't expecting to talk about this shit. I really wasn't. I would have came much more prepared, but that actually shows you guys how much I know. Like I'm just grabbing shit off the top of my head that I remember. But low key, a lot of people are insecure about their partners having had previous relationships with black men. There's you know, oh my god. See, this is why I love this live stream. Because we go from intellectual to ignorant. I'm about to go ignorant. So there was I remember I kind of like that stigma. I love being the taboo. Like you fucked a black guy. Like oh my god. So like I'll never forget. There was this Asian girl, right? And I have so many stories of many things like this, but this one's my favorite. So I was on this app, right? And when apps was we need to talk about that. Apps used to be very easy to get laid. Now it's just, oh my god, it's like, we'll talk about dating apps. We'll talk about that. Dating apps. Talk about that. But anyways, so I was on this dating app, and I guess this I don't know what the hell she was. She's from somewhere though, some country. But I guess she had been with this guy for a while, or like, I guess that was her only boyfriend. And I guess he broke up with her, and she was pissed off. Little nerdy Asian chick, dude, crazy. So, I was just messaging her, and she was messaging back fast. And I was like, oh, like, where you at? She's like, oh, I'm at this college, right? I'm not going to say the college. Because then whoever might see this might know. But she's like, I'm at this college, right? And I was like, oh, like, what you, no. You see, I don't see how the convo got disrespectful. No. It's like the convo gets stupid. It's really funny as hell. Like, it's funny as fuck how I can go from intellectual to just really like raunchy, low grade. And I love doing this with you guys. But anyways, so she hits me up and she's like, yeah, I've never been with a black guy before. And I was like, oh, okay. And when I heard that right there, within like maybe an hour or two, like, and I found out the whole situation. She just broke up with a guy or something, and she's mad at him. Within an hour or two, she's in the back of my Charger, and we going to town. Like, we going to town. She said all of the typical bad stuff and that you ain't supposed to say. I had an Asian girl saying nigga, like I was going. It was the most racist session I've ever had in my entire life. It was great, and I'm not gonna say her name either. But I was like, yo, we dapped each other up at the end. I was like, when can I see you again? I think she got back with her boyfriend. And it makes me laugh because I just know. And there's many stories of stuff like happening like that. Where like a girl gets mad. Like I don't know what I would do as a non-black person. I see why some of these dudes are racist. I'm not even gonna lie. Oh, I don't know what you would do. Like, bro, like you had sex with a black man? Like, bro, like even as a black man sometimes, like, if one of my, because I've dealt with a lot of like non-black women, and then when I find out they dealt with a black dude, I'm like, God damn it, what type of black dude was it, So, but like, I don't know. That's so funny. And I was laughing at what someone said. They were like, they hate when they have sex with black men. I'm like, yeah. It's so funny. So yeah, how do you feel about that? I've heard many black people complain and feel offended by the fact that society seems to sexualize black men or black women. Um, I like the stigma. Me personally, I like the stigma. I like the stigma. Um, I think the sexualization. So me and that girl, we literally fetishized each other. It was an Asian fetish that I was playing on. It was a black fetish that she was playing on. Um, I think the fetishization of black men and the fetishization of black women is totally different. I 100% do. I think it's dangerous for black women because if you literally go back to like what we were talking about earlier, the slave trade, um, they like the white man developed a taste for black women during that era. They used to have gang grape sessions in the courtyards with black women. They used to do that during the travel from through the Atlantic to the New World. So the sexualization of black women is a little bit different. So when I see a black woman, when black women be like, oh, like I have a white man, and it's nothing against you white guys, nothing against y'all. This is about to start, this is about to be one of those moments. I have black friends. My best friend's white. Love that man. Tyler Koff. He's a German. Love you, my man. Shout out to my boy. He has a child. He has a son now. Love you, my man. We're a little cute little white girl. Love him to death. I grew up with him. But usually when I see a black woman with a white man, I kind of like historically, I do understand. It's kind of like how when some people see like the white man with the Asian woman, it's kind of like that. There's some historical connotations behind that. So I do feel bad for black women. The fetishization is different, but as a black man, I like it. Because I feel like the masculinity of black men actually is not what it used to be. A lot of black men are gay now. Like, a lot of them are gay now. And if we don't uphold that, it's going to be the cliche is going to be a black man's gay. There's a lot of gay black men now. But yeah, that's kind of what I have to say about that. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. There's so much more. That's such a great question. Like, how do I feel about the sexualization and fetishization of black men? I think black men need to go where they're wanted. Like, for example, I'll never forget, like, for the longest time, this is such a raw live. Y'all, this is such a raw live. I remember for the longest time, I liked Asian women a lot. Like I always only deal with black women and white women, but I could never like connect with Asian women because and it took one Cambodian chick to break it down to me. It was one Cambodian chick. I told her, I said Asians don't like me. She was just chuckling. Fine ass girl too. She was like, "What type of Asian women are you dealing with?" I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "What type of Asian women are you dealing with?" I said, "Well, I try to deal with Chinese. I try to deal with Japanese, Koreans, and what I've discovered, speaking of the sexualization of black men, is and I don't know if anybody will admit it, but Japanese, Korean, Chinese, they will fuck the dog shit out of a black man, but they will not be seen with you. They will not. That's been my experience. I literally had a Korean chick one time. I guess TMI, but she only like I don't even know how this makes sense to me now. Now that I'm older, think about it. Like she didn't want me she didn't want penetration because I guess that would have made her lesser than. So she only went for oral. It's weird like that. But anyways, she was like, "Oh well, you're not dealing with the correct type of Asians. And I was like, well, what type of Asians are you talking about? So if anybody that's Asian, this is what I got from a Cambodian chick. Okay. She told me, she said, you need to mess with jungle Asians. I said, what the fuck is a jungle Asian? She said, look it up. Trust me. Ever since I looked up the rate of what is considered a jungle Asian, success went up. So black men just got to go where they're loved, you know. I do think when you're talking about sexualization, I guess it could hurt kind of, because there was a couple of and I guess like the Japanese, the Koreans, the Chinese, they call them mainland Asians. I guess I have experienced a lot of disappointments trying to deal with those types of women, and I didn't understand the culture. Because one thing about Asians especially is culture is huge. Culture is fucking huge, dude. So I didn't understand it. Like, I was like, what the fuck, you know? But now I get it. But I am starting to see Chinese women, like, I guess the outcasts of Chinese women, they're starting to kind of deal with black people more. So I don't know. I don't know. Damian Wayans portrayed a gay policeman on a live skit once and got fired. I'm actually of the beliefs that a gay person is born, not made. Ooh, okay, let's talk about that. We will talk about that. You said, well, those are very rigid and strict societies. It makes sense. I love Asian culture, and I respect it. I think because when you look at what's happened to America and what happens when you lose culture, right? Like, I mean, culture should be fluent, but I'm not mad that Japanese, Chinese, or Koreans don't want to be seen married with a black man. I'm not mad about that, you know. But there's other. I mean, you can probably find. Like, I think even like in them, is Punjabi a derogatory term? I don't know, but you know, those types of people. I know it's very hard to find those type of women. I know it's difficult. I know you have to like be a part of their culture to even marry one, you know? Even I think Armenians too. So I just think you just have to go where you're wanted. And I think culture is good. Even strict ones. I think so. Now, you said let me add on to that, because like Thai women, Filipino women, I've had incredible success with Filipino women. I've heard, I don't know about Vietnamese women. I haven't really talked to. No, I've talked to a couple. That's cool too. I think the Laos women like black men too, and they're all beautiful. So I don't know, like, go where you're wanted. But you said not to interrupt the chat, but are you a Christian believer? The reason why I ask, because I am in desperate need of help. I'm looking for someone to talk to me. Well, just type it away. We've been talking about God this entire stream. We've been going all over the place. We're going to talk about gays right now, though. We're going to talk about gays right now. Let me see what Ghost said. You said, I don't care about that personally, that my ex-girlfriend gets with a black man after me. Well, it's not like a black is superior thing, or like, I just understand why non-race dudes. Like, I had a Filipino girl that I was dealing with, and I was like the only black dude she ever dealt with, but then I taught her how to deal with black men, and now that's all she's smashing. I hate that shit. I hate that shit, dude. Like, it pisses me off. So I understand it, you know? But anyways, like you said, you believe that gays are born, not made. I believe gays are made. And we can healthily disagree on that. I want you guys to understand that. Always remember, you can healthily disagree with me. Smitty is not God. Smitty is not always correct. Smitty is ignorant too. Okay? But I believe gays are definitely made. I think being gay is a learned behavior, in my opinion. Punjabi is the area of Pakistan. Yeah. But is that derogatory? Like, is that like, if I always say, like, imagine like for some weird reason for the next like 2 weeks we keep talking about Pakistanis, right? And I'm saying Punjabi. Like, would I get canceled for constantly saying Punjabi? Is saying Punjabi like the equivalent of if I was white saying nigga? Because I remember Joe Rogan was saying nigga, and everybody said Joe Rogan was racist. And I was like, Joe Rogan was just fucking ignorant, bro. That's it. That's what I'm curious about. Because I would hate for there to be massive amount of clips of me saying Punjabi, and that's like derogatory. You get what I'm saying? So we'll say Pakistanis though. At the end, he choose you, dog. That's what matters. Yep. Remember, historically, other cultures are taught that we are inferior race people. For the longest time, some Asian communities, blacks had tails. I mean, you could like. This is why I got respect for the Japanese. The Japanese was the only smart culture, at least, or no, it was Nobunaga. But like in their culture, that's the only culture where they said, "Oh, you're strong. I'm gonna use you to actually fucking fight. Good job. Have your own fucking land." You know? Like merit-based type stuff, you know? So, me personally, I think so many of my ancestors did not die for me to be mad that some Asians thought we were inferior. I'm about to have fun. I'm about to love who love me. I'm gonna have fun. Like, there's R.I.P. Emmett Till. This is for you. I'm so stupid, dog. Like, when white girls bouncing on it, whatever bouncing on it, like every black man that died for this, I mean, I'm doing it for you. Fuck it. You know? I'm not about to, bruh. Like, because, like, I think that's the difference. Like, as a black man, when you go through life, like, at some point, you got to let that shit go and live. At some point, you got to live, dog. You got to live. You're going to find racism everywhere. There's nothing, I can't rub this shit off, whatever. So I'm going to own this shit, you know? I don't believe that to be the case. I always remember to feel attracted to women. I feel that's something, you know, from a very young age. Well, we are animals. We are animals. That's the thing. Like, we're biologically, like, it's in the reptilian brain to produce. You get what I'm saying? I really think it, because you said, when you say you believe gays are born, you, like, it goes back to them saying, I was born this way. And I'm like, I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think something taught you to be this way. It's psychological. Now, am I saying it's defective? Am I saying being gay is defective? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that wasn't a natural thing that was created. I don't think so. I don't think so. You are a reptile. We're all reptiles. It's our reptilian brain. That's what it's called. It's that that reptile brain that we have. The stem and everything that's connected to us. Yeah. I think homosexuality has been observed in nature. It has been observed in nature, but that's not like that hasn't been like, what am I trying to say? What the fuck am I trying to say? That's the exception, not the rule. If that makes sense. That's and I think like homosexuals are exceptions, not the rule. I think homosexuality is exceptions, not rules. I think it's an acquired taste. It's kind of funny because we were talking about this. We have been talking about the subconscious and the central nervous. Oh no, we've been talking about the central nervous system for a while. It's been a big topic, a big ongoing topic, And I was thinking, I don't know if I've said this in any of my lives, but I do believe that I do now believe that the central nervous system is our second brain. I believe that. I believe that we have our brain, right? Right here, and that's where our mind is at, right? But where the hell is our subconscious at? I believe that our subconscious is in our nervous system, the central nervous system. So when we go to sleep and our mind goes off, the central nervous system comes on. That's why in dreams it feels so real. And then that makes sense to me because if you learn how to draw, you learn how to fight, you learn how to do anything, right? That becomes second nature to your central nervous system. You can control yourself in your dreams and stuff like that. Like, for example, in my dreams, like I literally, it's been many times in my dreams, I would be doing jujitsu, right? Like I can move, I just know what to do, right? My body moves for me. So what the fuck am I saying? Why am I bringing that up? I think that at some point, your central nervous system just becomes attracted to homosexuality if you're a homosexual. I think it's learned. I really do. I think it's learned. But I could be wrong. I don't mind being wrong. I don't mind. You said I am not a reptile. Well, no, we all are. We all are. We're all animals for sure, but I don't think homosexuality is the rule right now. Despite you said no, I think it's the exception. Like I know we have the gay parades and all that stuff. I know we have all, and they look huge, but they're not really they're not a big part of the population. You know that, right? Like there really isn't like a lot of gay people, like people think there is. It really isn't. That's just a very loud exception. Oh my God, Smitty is saying there's something wrong with gays. No, I'm not. I'm just saying like it's not as many as people think it is. They're just loud, kind of like black people. There's not a lot of black Americans. We're just loud, you know. But I mean, okay. So earlier we talked about, do you believe in God? We talked about you said I know, and that's why I think that it cannot be a learned behavior necessary. Okay. So you think, well, okay, well let's play this. If it is born, right? Then what's the issue? That like let's go there before I change the subject. Cuz I think it's made, but whether it's made or born, in the grand scheme of things, does it matter? Because like really think about that. Because we do have separate ideas of it, whether it's born or is made. It's kind of like did the chicken come before the egg type beat. But like in the grand scheme of things, does it matter? Because there's like does it actually matter? Because we have straights making more babies. I don't know. You said, no, I don't think it matters. I couldn't care less, to be honest. But like, really think about it. Because I'd be wondering, like, what's the big deal? Like they be, oh my God, hey. And I'm just like, okay, like if you want this shit to be fucking normal, why does it matter? I don't know. He said, my brother was trans and I thought he was gay all those years. When he came out, the family was surprised, but he had very obvious signs. I like some Asian cultures where they I got nothing against trans people. I'm gonna tell you what I do got. Like, um, some of these motherfuckers ain't trans. They're cross dressers. It's a difference. Some of these people are confused, and some of these people are trans. And I think that's where the problem really lies. He said, but it's an interesting combo. It is an interesting combo. It truly is. There are 60 million Black Americans in the United States. We only represent like 13%. Someone asked me a question above here, and I wanted to answer that question. You said the brain does not shut down. If it did, we would die. What do you mean by that? Where did that come from? Is it because I was talking about the reptilian brain? Like, what do you mean by that? Oh, are you saying like when we go to sleep? I'm not saying like when I say it shut down, it goes to sleep. I guess it's kind of like a shutdown. So maybe the terminology I said was wrong, but like I hope you get what I meant. Like the brain right now, us talking, the brain is consciously aware and doing things. But when you go to sleep, it's no longer conscious. So what is conscious? I believe it's our nervous system that's conscious. And that goes into the subconscious. I think that our central nervous system is our subconscious. That's how you pick up on things all day. That's how you experience things that you wasn't expecting to experience. You know? It's in the nervous system. And you want to know something that I really have been meaning to study, that I want to really badly. I want to study this concept of the higher self. What I mean by that, I've been seeing it a lot move around on my algorithm on YouTube, of that we have us and then we have a higher self. Like there's a higher self. I don't know what it is because I haven't studied it yet. It's a video on YouTube. I clicked it. I plan on looking at it. But I've been seeing a lot of, like, there is a higher version of ourselves trying to wake us up. And I think it's scientifically proven. I don't know. But that right there, I'm very interested in that. If any of you guys know what that is, go ahead and educate me. You said, why do you think being gay is a learned behavior? I think even being straight might be a learned behavior. Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I think so. Like, if you are in an environment of masculine people, right, then you learn how to do masculine things. If you're in an environment of feminine-based places, or maybe you get exposed to feminine-based things, then you start doing feminine type stuff. That's why it goes back to like Black people, for example. You know, there's a lot of gay Black men. Why? They're mothers, single mothers. Single motherhood in the Black community, if you pay very close attention, single motherhood alone causes so many gays to appear. Look at the Philippines, for example. I've been dealing with a lot of Filipino women. If you look at the Philippines, definitely in the Philippines, there's a lot of single mothers. And if you kind of pay close attention, there's also a lot of trans and gays over there too. Am I talking shit? No. This is just an observation. Just an observation. And I don't mind being wrong. Or made behavior. Yeah. Well, I think the desire of the gay community to be normal is because if the previous stigma and judgment that was had against them, I understand that, but we have went through the 2010s and we're almost done with the 2020s. Being gay is normal at this point. Being gay is normal at this point. Am I tripping? Like, or did I accept it already? Like, are we still in denial about this? Because I've accepted gays and trans and lesbians and bis. I've accepted it. So I'm like, oh, you gay? You know? Cool. Well, I guess not, because there's a dude in my gym who he likes trans. Well, he's in love with this. He considers himself straight. He's in love with this Asian trans from wherever, I think, or Singapore. I ain't gonna lie, them motherfuckers do be looking like girls, but he's in love with a trans. Okay, and there's some people in the gym that just thinks they can't accept that. They hate it. And I'm just like, well, if he's in love with a trans, because I guess the whole idea is, oh, if you like guys, I can't trust to go to sleep around you because you might grape me or something. I think that's the whole idea. But I'm like, all you gotta do is just look at his sexual preference. He likes boys that looks like girls. Let him love what the fuck he want to love. God damn it! Like I don't. I'm so ignorant, dude. Let him do what he want to do. God, shit. Like, he said, baby, you should have said sleep. My bad. Goddamn. Follow me here. He said, my cousins like to think of himself as a gorilla because of how big and strong he is, like King Kong. I have mixed feelings that since they were black. Smitty, Cobra Kai, or Miyagi. You want to know something? I haven't seen Karate Kid in a while. I did see the first Cobra Kai season, and then it got kind of goofy. I actually met the one of the actors. He was kind of lame in person. Yeah, I haven't seen Karate Kid in fucking forever. It's a good. I mean, I'd probably be Cobra Kai because Miyagi didn't have really no students. If you really think about it, I mean. Oh well, no. You're talking about with Daniel when he's older and all that stuff. Are you talking about that? Are you talking about that or the OG one? Like, you know, when he said reap the knee, spare the leg. I forgot what he said. He said something podcast live may help. I say Cobra Kai. Okay, I live in Cali, Bay Area. Nobody cares. I mean, like I don't know. Y'all got what's good, bro? What's good? Good night. It's all been interesting. Take care. Why was he just like the way he portrays himself. It just seemed like I just expected more personality. Sweep the leg. There. Thank you. Appreciate you. Because in 10th Planet we say reap the leg now. So I totally forgot what was said. But I like there's certain actors who like I would be very sad if I find out Brad Pitt is lame. I'd be hurt. Brad Pitt is my favorite actor. Brad Pitt has been my favorite actor. I loved when I was a child. I used to always watch movies. Brad Pitt in Troy, Brad Pitt in what else? What other movie was Brad Pitt in? Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Brad Pitt in what's that one movie? Oh my gosh, Fight Club. Brad Pitt in Fight Club. Just such a fucking great actor, dude. And just the swagger. It would be hurtful. Like I expect you to be cool in real life. Oh, I have no doubt 10th Planet would say that. One of them screwed up my leg real bad at a tournament years ago. I'm so sorry. I hate the leg lock game, kind of. You say Interview with a Vampire. Yes. Oh, my gosh. Like, God damn it. He's such a good actor, man. You want to know something crazy? I've never watched. I know the fucking plot. But I've never watched The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Was Brad Pitt in there too? You want to know something I don't like? I don't like body horror. I don't like anything with the body. Like, I remember there was this girl on this talk show, and she's like, oh, I can take a popcorn kernel, put it in my mouth, and pop it out my eye. I was like, I clicked off the video. I was like, I don't want to see that shit. So anything like Benjamin Button, like homie, like that reverse Asian shit, I don't like that. I don't like that shit, dog. I'm like, hell nah, bro. I don't want to see that. I don't like that shit, man. When I was little, they like, so I'll never forget, because like I think I have a bizarre fear of handicapped people. A bizarre fear. When I was little, there was these kids. There was a kid. What's the correct term? What is the proper term for the less unfortunate handicaps? We'll just say handicap because I was about to say some stupid shit. But they were. I was gonna say some stupid shit. I'm not even gonna tell you what I was gonna say. Y'all could kind of figure out what I was about to say. But they were messing with the well, one of the handicapped folk, right? And they, what did they do? They made him cry. They did something to him and convinced him that I was the one who teased him. All the kids, I used to hate white kids when I was young. Oh my God, I used to hate little white motherfuckers. They pissed me off. But they blamed it on me. They said I teased the kid and I just happened to be around. So for a whole week, which as a little kid, that felt like a month. So maybe it was a month. I don't know. But they put me in the slow class, right? And I was to like teach me a lesson, I guess. When I tell you, I was like maybe 8 years old or something, that developed a phobia of like, I hated that shit, I think that's why to this day, like if I see any like body horror and stuff, like where something's moving slow, like I don't want to see that shit. Like I really, you say just say the stupid. I'm not saying the stupid shit. Special needs people. I'm not saying it because I know that will get me canceled. I know it. I was about to say some stupid shit, but the special needs people, like anything like that shit right there, dude. Oh my God. I had to eat with them. I was like 8 years old. I was just like, and then like the teacher pretended like I was one of them. So I started thinking I was one of them. And you see what I'm saying? Learn fucking behavior, dog. I started moving slow with man, bro. I hated that shit, dude. I hated that shit. I hated that shit. To this day, I don't like. Now I'm watching movies. I'm like, fuck that. Turn this shit off, bro. I don't want to see that. How do you feel about Orlando Bloom's character, Paris and Troy? He kidnapped that dude's wife and dishonored himself in single combat and then killed Achilles. Fucking hated that dude. Fucking hated that dude. I hated Orlando Bloom. I hated him. Made no fucking sense. I hated him in that movie. Hated that dude. He didn't kidnap her. That was hypergamy. That was it was Helena, right? She was just, that was hypergamy, dog. That's what that was. Okay. She looked at, I think, no, that the Agamemnon's brother looked at the way he looked. He had a pot belly. He just wasn't he just, I mean, back then, people loved boys that looked like girls. Like people loved it. And I'm not talking about trans. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. The youth of a young man was very sought out back in the ancient times. Paris looked like a girl. Even today, a guy that looks like a girl, like that has girlish features, women find that attractive. So she found a beautiful man and she wanted to ride him. And then she thought she was in love because she actually found somebody compatible instead of being forced to be stuck with that and caused a fucking whole war. A long, grueling Trojan War, which, if you read the story, led to Achilles being in Hades with his eyes or something cut out or something like that. It was crazy. Like when you read the what is it called? The Odyssey. When you read the Odyssey, man, it blows your mind because see, I love the movie Troy, but when you read the Odyssey, like when I got older and I read the Odyssey, it gave me a new perspective on why you want to be an Odysseus and not an Achilles. You know, that's why wit is in my name. I always remind myself, you don't want to be a warrior. You don't want to, like, Achilles was fucking immaculate. I love Brad Pitt's portrayal of Achilles, but you want to be an Odysseus. You get what I'm saying? That's what you want to be, because that's longevity right there. Let me read you guys saying. He said, well, you aren't slow now, so and you were not born slow. True. But I was almost made slow. You get what I'm saying? There we go. Perfect. I wasn't born slow, but I started acting slow because I felt like, I think it was a learned behavior. I was learning how to be slow to the point now to this day, I don't like being around slow people. Do I hate slow people? No, I don't. It just it gives me, it's you get what I'm saying? I think that stuff is learned behaviors. I think it is. I really do. I think it's learned behaviors. I think I think for some people the reason why they have to be I was born gay, what was I gonna say? It makes them feel like some people are scared of just making a choice. Yeah, motherfucker. I like dick. God damn it, just say that, dog. Yeah. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? You ain't gotta say it was, some mystical shit. Nah, motherfucker, you just like what you like, dog. I don't know. I like coochie, you like it? All right, cool. You feel me? Anyways, what other martial art do you think can help me improve my jiu-jitsu? Do boxing. Boxing. Not judo, boxing. And MMA wrestling. The war wasn't over her, the king. Well, no. Okay, look. Perfect. The war wasn't over Helena of Troy. The king wanted Troy. No, her name wasn't Helena. Was it Helena? I forgot her name. But the war wasn't over her. The king wanted Troy for the trade routes. Although it makes me want to see Flashpoint Paradox with Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Yeah, that was oh my God, Flashpoint. That was such a good movie. I fucking hate the way DC did and handled the. I hated the way they did it. They ended it with everyone with it's fucking stupid. But anyways, no. The reason though. The reason why the Trojan War happened was because, well, no, we know why. They just need a fucking reason. We're going to go get my brother's wife, but it was really politics. You get what I'm saying? I know that. I'm just saying they just needed a reason. It's kind of like you want to fight someone, but you need a reason. You see him kick a dog. That's the reason. Odysseus didn't want immortality because that would just be another form of death. Yeah, I'm telling you, you want to be an Odysseus, but you didn't end up being slow. I think it's something we both will always have different views on. It's fine, but the point is of what I said at the end. I got to the point where it merged. I said, does it matter? You get what I'm saying? You could take a left down the street over here, right? And I could take a right down the street over here, right? But if it turns and we get to the same destination, does it matter? You get what I'm saying? Your preference is to go left and my preference is to go right. But at the end of the day, we're getting to the same destination, which is the question of, does it matter? So I don't think it's different views. I think it's literally you're just making a left turn, I'm making a right turn. But we're going into the same cul-de-sac. That's what I think. So that's why it doesn't bother me if you feel like gay people are born and I feel gay people are made. At the end of the day, I'm saying, does it matter? Like, what does that actually affect? Like, if the chicken came before the egg, what does that affect? You know? Like, does it hurt anything? It's so interesting, you know? Let me see. This kid at my elementary school, kids thought he was slow and let him do whatever because he rode the short bus. I was the only one who knew he was actually just on that bus for being bad. He became a gangster later. Yeah. Yeah. There's something I'm trying to say. I would have to chat GPT of what I'm really trying to say. I think like when you, it's interesting. Does it matter though? Like that, like I would, you know what? I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna talk about that because that's the next evolution of that question. You know, if gay people were born, whether they were born or whether they were made, does it matter? Does it matter? Because it goes back to what my guy right here is saying, Kale. Because this is interesting. Because talking about either if the gays were made or they're born, right? Does it matter? This is why it might matter, you know? Because he said this kid at my elementary school, kids thought he was slow and let him do whatever he wanted because he rode the short bus. He said I was the only one who knew he was actually just on the short bus for being bad, right? He became a gangster later, you know? So when we accept, what am I trying to say? I hope you guys see where I'm going with that. If we accept certain behavior, does it lead to certain outcomes? If we stop certain behavior, actually, there we go. So if we accept that it's born, right? Like how some people accepted that he was on the short bus, it does it lead to a certain outcome? But if we understand that it was made and we stop certain things from being made, does it stop certain outcomes from happening? Because at the moment, the way I see it, whether gays were born or whether they were made or whether evil is born or whether evil is made, right? When you get to the central point, does it matter? Some deep shit. Does it matter? You know, it's crazy. He had a brother who was mentally challenged that lived in the same house, but he went to college. So he definitely made his choices. All true. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if we just jump up and say, oh, like, this is born, X is born, right? Then we accept it and we let it go into naturally where it will go. But if we say it's made, then we hold it accountable for its actions, and then maybe it might take a different turn. So I don't know. That's interesting. That's why I said they were made. You know, and because you guys made that choice, accept it, and you know, be accountable for it. But why does it all matter? I don't know. It's such a it's we kind of getting philosophical with that in a way. We kind of getting philosophical. Deep shit, man. Yeah, deep shit, deep shit. Anybody else got something? Because I still have I still got the dating apps topic. I never talked about communication as a martial art. I haven't talked about that. I like how I wrote these notes down. So when I come back, I can read this stuff. Yeah, I talked about the 4 dimensions of MMA. Ooh. But I don't think I want to talk about that topic. Does strength matter? I don't think I want to talk about that. Like, does strength actually matter? But if you guys want to talk about does strength matter, we'll talk about that too. Go ahead and like. We are at 17 likes. This was a great live. This was a great live stream. Okay, so I kind of forgot what I was going to talk about with the dating apps. I think I remember I was going to say, like, I remember it used to be way easier to get a hold of women, like talking to women. But I feel like nowadays it's yeah, you guys, let me save the dating apps. Let me see what you have to say. Well, in that case of the story, that Kel was just a case of improper diagnosis or a neglect school system, and And also the kid was now wanting to do schoolwork and wanting an easy way out. But that's the whole point. Like the same way that you're saying, like, about the gay, because it's still like if you look at the core of our argument or debate, I don't like to say argument. The core thing about it is we're saying, is X born and X made? So after we went back and forth, it made me think at the end of it was, does it matter? Right? If we accept that it was born that way, right, then that's the nature of. That means we can't change it. That means it is what it is, right? But if we said it's made, then that means certain things can be corrected. You know, certain things can be corrected before it gets to the nature of what it could be. You know, because if it's born that way, right, then that means there's a fixed area that's going to go. So like dogs, for example, we know the lifespan of a dog, right? We know how certain dogs are born. If it's a pit bull, we know pit bulls have aggression or yada, yada, yada. You know, it's the nature of it. We don't get mad at it because that's just how it is. But if we knew that these pit bulls were making a choice, right, to do what they were doing, then we can correct that behavior out of them. Interesting. He says, good, you write those notes down to be able to come back to it later. Oh my God, I'm telling you, because the dating apps, communication as a martial arts, does strength matter? I'm looking at some of these notes of stuff we talked about, and it just like, I'm like, oh, we didn't talk about that. So back to the dating apps thing. Yeah, it used to be easier to talk to people. I hate how nowadays I'll be sitting back. Oh, you want to know something I realized? Speaking of dating apps, I'll be on Threads. Now, if you guys ever go on Threads, like Threads is such a slobbish pit of a cesspool of women who hate men, right? But after observing for the longest time, and I love going on like Chat GPT and like type and researching this stuff. Chat GPT was swearing that but I have my Chat GPT to play devil's advocate with me. So maybe that's what it was doing. I have realized with women, if you really, 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 really look to what all women are complaining about, because here we go with the born shit, right? The nature of shit, right? Like when you look at hypergamy and stuff. At the end of the day, all women really want is a man's resources and emotional stimulation. Good or bad. I have figured that out after watching and observing. Because some men's like, oh, like if you like we, I believe, have enough data at this point. A tall guy can get cheated on, like a girl could cheat on a tall guy with a short guy. A girl could cheat on a rich guy with a broke guy, right? But I have realized that it just literally comes down to if the man has resources where he could provide a lifestyle. So if you provide a woman a lifestyle, and I think this is just women today, but or maybe it's always been like that, because that's kind of why Eve bit the fucking apple. If you pay attention, like she spoke to the snake, right? Emotional stimulation. And the snake promised a lifestyle that she would be like God. And at the end of the day, I think that's all women want. Any woman you deal with, all you have to do is provide a lifestyle and emotional stimulation, good or bad. And I believe she'll go with what she I believe that she will overlook your flaws instead of focus on them. You said I didn't know Threads was filled with misandry. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Do you recommend dating apps? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think at this point, so let me tell y'all my experience with dating apps. This is gonna shock the fuck out of y'all. So when I was when I was how old would someone be in the 6th grade? I don't know. Like 6th grade. Back then in the 2000s, we used to have like Boost Mobile, right? Maybe I know some of you guys probably don't know what the fuck Boost Mobile is. I don't even know if they sell Boost Mobiles anymore. But you have to have zero respect for apps these days, yeah. But I'm gonna tell you guys my experience with the internet. I used to have back then the internet or like chat rooms and talking to people used to be it was in the 2000s too. You just had to pay for it. Like it was like $1 a month or something. But I used to be one of them little maybe I was 13 or maybe I was 12. I can't remember. But I was one of those kids that pretended to be 14 or 15, you know, because I guess that was the cool thing at that time, you know, like, and I remember talking to a lot of girls, pretending like I was a certain age during that time. So I knew about talking to girls in like chat rooms at a very young age. Then in like '09, I like there was Facebook and there was like it used to be way fucking easy. It used to be y'all want to know how easy it used to be to get a girl back then? You would literally say, like, you would talk to her, you would say hello, you would message her. There was no ads, no nothing. You would just message her. If she responds, then she responds, right? You talk to her, and then you say, hey, you want to hang out? It used to be that easy. You want to hang out? Yeah. What day? There was no such thing as ghosting. And y'all would plan it out, and you guys would just talk, and then you would meet up. That's how easy it used to be. And then I think the height of all that was in 2016. I think that there's a reason why everybody like hypes up 2016, because I think guys like me ruined the dating app experience. Because I was running through. That's all I can say. I had girls going. Girls was going with me. They were going. They were going in 2016. They were going. But then I remember, and then in 2017, like people wonder like how I know so much about the internet. I literally watched the internet like grow. You get what I'm saying? But I remember in 2017, I kind of saw the writing was on the wall. Like I started seeing like the IG models pop up. They're paying these IG models. And little did I know, like ChatGPT was born around this time too. So maybe they were getting data at that time. They had all these IG models and stuff. And then 2018, the shift happened. And then 2019, it really started getting worse. And when 2020 happened and everybody like got used to being inside, dating apps just got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. I wouldn't be on dating apps now. You said too many murderers online now. I don't think. I don't know. I don't know. I know that there's a big complaint that the men are not on dating apps no more. I know that. But there actually is. I'm not spilling the beans though. There's other dating apps. There's other dating apps. I'm not spilling. I'm sorry. I'm gatekeeping like a motherfucker. There's some there are some dating apps. But you would have to like I do think the last hoorah for men is going overseas at this point. But then like, oh my God, even overseas, I think in probably 5 years from now, even going overseas is going to be a waste of time. Because I think the girls overseas, we are getting like worse now. We have a lot of men running overseas, buying their way to love. And we could talk about that, like why you shouldn't lead with your wallet. Let me write that down. I just got here. Hello. Don't lead with your wallet. I was a victim to that many times where, well, no, I'm like more of a psychological dude, but I have a couple of times led with my wallet, and I see why you don't lead with your wallet. Let me see. You said many murderers online. Okay. 2016 was the year I came to this country. There's a saying with regards of the internet. If you don't have to pay for a website or an app, then you're the product. I just think, maybe. Well, yes, that is kind of true. Like, attention is currency now. Like, I want to let you guys know that everyone that's in here, it's not that when I sit here, if you like message me on like or say something in the comments, I'm not being an ass when I don't respond. I'm not on the internet. Like, y'all do not understand. I get on and I get off. I get on and I get off because I do not like how sucked in. Like, everything's designed to keep your attention now, you know? And it feels very uncomfortable for me. Like, at this point, I'm a little bit too overstimulated now. So I post what I have to post and I get off. But I am liking this live stream stuff. Ghost, if you're still here, you gotta give me some credit. I said I was gonna get on, and I've been getting on. For those who don't know, usually I'll live stream for like a day or two, and I'll disappear for months. But this time I want to do something different, and I said I want to live stream for 2 hours a day, and I'm doing it. But I do like this. I think this is much more healthier for me. I like talking to you guys. I'm gonna keep reading these comments. Let me see. I'm very happy to hear men aren't on dating apps anymore. No, they're not. Men are moving away from dating apps at this point. I think overseas dating apps are still doing pretty good because a lot of women overseas in poorer countries are trying to get meal tickets, so they going, they going. But I don't know, man. I think America, like right now, America's all fucked up. That's something I want to talk about. Something I've been talking about myself lately. Money, motion, mind, muscles. I'll talk about that. Earlier, I was saying that earlier I told you guys when we was talking about do you believe in God, I forgot to say this. I had realized that I had been blessed many times with clarity and timing. That's what made me start believing in God 100%. Because I just felt like there was just many times that I shouldn't be here, and I was spared multiple times. And then at some point I was like, you know what? There's got to be a God because I shouldn't have gotten out. I shouldn't have gotten out of that. Someone said, "Hi there, I just got here." Hello. I think one should just talk to people face to face, like it was meant to be. But there's so much going on in the world now. Everything's moving so fast. Like we don't have time to talk face to face. Like we don't have time. Like I think maybe live streaming might be the last like closest thing we're gonna get. They are gonna probably augment reality. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. They at some point are gonna create the Matrix. What should I tell you? At some point, the Matrix is gonna be created. At some point, 100% the Matrix is gonna be created. Watch what I tell you. Like where people are gonna be linking themselves to stuff. Smitty, don't lie, bro. I've seen the kind of post you like on Instagram. Bro. Good. You see why I get the fuck off? You good. Well, that's weird because I don't like posts. It's interesting. What have you seen? Because I barely like posts. I comment, but I don't like. Because I got some, something like the girlies do? The girlies look at your likes. So any girl that I'm attracted to, like, I'm giving the sauce away. I like any girl. That's actually really interesting. I told this to one girl and they blew her mind. I said, any girl I'm following, I've never smashed. She's like, what? I said, any like if I'm like with a girl and me and her just had sexual intimacy, I unfollow her. No girl, like, so if you're curious, there you go. So if you're like, if you see me with a girl, did Smitty smash? Scroll up. If I'm following her, Smitty did not smash. That's the homegirl. There you go. That's yeah. Started talking supplements. Ooh, so you started taking supplements like creatine and pre-workout. Do you have any questions about that? Because I would love to talk about that too. But while you type away, if you want to talk about that, one thing that I've been telling myself lately, like I was talking about with the God thing, clarity and timing. I think at this point, as men, 100%, we need to be focused on our money and our motion, in our mind and our muscles, and then emotions is last. But you still need to. You still like when I say emotions is last. I'm not saying like put that on the back burner. You need to study that too. And that this is the whole point of why I started going on live again and started like focusing on live because I've been very content with my martial arts. I've been content with doing what I'm doing. I don't like money doesn't make me as a man. But I had ran into a situation where I realized it's time to upgrade my money and motion with my mind and muscles. And I'm going to explain this to you guys. Something really very important. Any young man hears this, you know. So, and this goes actually into my communication as a martial arts system. I call it my compass system. I think I'm going to go back posting that stuff. But anyways, as a man, this world really only cares about your money or resources. Like we're animals. Your money and your motion. Okay. So I have learned it goes money and motion, mind and muscles, emotion. That is something that I have been telling myself every day I wake up. That's why I've been trying to stay offline too. Because I wake up and I ask myself, is life worth living? Should I blast myself? I'm tired of being poor, even worse, I'm black. My stomach hurts, so I'm looking for a purse to snatch. Sorry. I wake up in the morning and I ask myself, did you get like your money right? And did you get your emotion right? Right? What is like money to me right now? To me, that money is live streaming, right? Live streaming is that money. You get what I'm saying? I think the motion, which is where you going, the trajectory as a man, right? That's like when you're focused, if you're a man and you're trying to get a date or something, I don't know why, but that turns women on. Not you getting at them, you on your grind trying to build your motion. You get what I'm saying? Like I think a couple of lives ago I talked about the sun, for example. I said like when you look at the sun just be moving. Like the sun is just moving. It's just doing what it got to do. But because it's so powerful and it has so much energy and it has so much motion, things gravitate to it. And I believe like the more resources you get and the more motion that you own, that right there will make you more valuable as a man. You don't have to do no looks maxing or none of that. That like at the end of the day, your money and your motion becomes one of the most powerful things that you can do. Also, but the problem is when you only focus on money and motion, I believe that you will be at loss with your emotional regulation. So I've learned nobody in this world, nobody gives a fuck, a flying fuck, a rabid fuck of how a man feels. Nobody's coming to save us. They don't care. They do not care. They don't want to hear what you have. They don't care, dog. Delete the paragraph, bro. They don't care. But I'm going to tell you when they do care that I've noticed. They care when a man can express himself through his mind and his muscles. What does that mean? Think about it. When you go to the gym or do martial arts, people, and you express yourself through that, then people care about, they want to hear what you want to hear. They want to hear, like, they don't want to hear you, but they're hearing you through your actions, your motion within that, your mind. You need to get into, I don't know, develop a skill. So it's not just muscles. Like when they say, go to the gym, bro, I fucking hate that. No, go to the gym and get a skill. That's what it is. Your mind and your muscles. Pour your emotions, cry through a skill and your muscles. That's where I believe the emotion should go. Your emotion should go in your mind and your muscles. You know, develop a skill in both your mind and your muscles while you're on the journey to get the money in motion. But then you need to study the emotion. You have to study the emotion. Why? Because if you're not aware of emotions, then actual emotions will become aware of you and it will grift you. You know? That's why I said communication was a martial art. That's why I've been saying that for a while. I've been saying communication is a martial art. That's why I've been saying that. Someone said, scroll up a little bit. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I started taking creatine in January because Costco had a sale, and I know it's more strength for workouts, but I wanted to be ready for this jiu-jitsu tournament. That was last month. That's cool. Creatine is good for you. Keep taking it. But just know it bloats you. And people, I personally take pill creatines. You know, it goes in your bloodstream a little bit better and it stops from you being bloated. I know everyone takes the powder creatine. I don't take that. It's a pill that I take. My goal with all these new supplements is to break strength plateaus and to be invincible. I already got the rash guard of his. Can y'all, let me see. It's fucking, I hate when this shit does this. It's like YouTube is telling me, get the fuck off. You're done. Can y'all hear me? YouTube always does this. When I get past a certain amount of time, it's like, all right, get off, Smitty. Let me hurry up and read you guys' comments. If I start freezing, I'm gonna end the live again. I'm sorry, guys. So I love you guys. But let me hurry up and read these comments. He says, my goal with all these new supplements is to break strength plateaus and to be invincible. I already got the rash guard of his season 3 suit, so I'm halfway there. I feel, fuck yeah. I would like to see that. It's always compelling when you see someone have passion for something. Yeah. But I think as men, we need to put our emotions in our mind and our muscles. Go to the gym, yes, but develop a skill. Go to the gym and develop a skill. I know this shit's starting to fuck up. I'm gonna have to end the live real soon. We'll talk about don't lead with your wallet probably tomorrow. But and I am past 2 hours, so I think that might be our limit right now. That might be our limit. Maybe one day. Yeah, that might be our limit. We're past 2 hours. I hate that shit. Every time after 2 hours, it starts freezing. Ben 10 watch limit exactly. No, I'm dead ass. Once it gets past like 2 hours, YouTube be like, bro, get off. Like bandwidth, bro. It happened last night. We was having a good conversation. It just kicked me off. Yeah, bro, I'm sorry. Like I don't know what it is. I think it's because I probably be using YouTube's like bandwidth, and I don't be forcing y'all to give me gifts and shit. Because YouTube, did y'all know that YouTube is trying? The whole point of this live shit is YouTube wants to cash in on the Twitch shit and all that stuff. So they need you guys giving gifts and shit. And I be in here just fucking yapping. I don't ask for gifts. You know, I don't ask for money. So they probably be like, all right, bro, get the fuck off, bro. We come tomorrow, man. YouTube hate me, dog. I mean, for what? I get I'm getting the money from the watch times. Maybe that's why they get pissed off at me, because they're not making no money. Maybe that's what it is. Anyways, any questions? He said, let me see. It's funny how people thought Ben's watch was sentient and gave him aliens, and the creator was just like, no, it's just it's malfunctioning. That yeah. Fucking crazy. Love Ben 10. Anybody got any last questions? Because I know I'm about to start freezing soon. So just any last questions? And we are way over time. We're at 18 likes. We beat the last live. But my last biggest live. Can we get to 20 likes maybe? Tips for giving. Tips for. Are you talking about no? They. Tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. I've been trying to go on live for 2 hours. So I got on live at 8 o'clock, or was it 9 o'clock, guys? I got 9 o'clock West Coast. What's the question, goes? So I think I'll probably come on 9 o'clock again. Yeah, I'll probably be on 9 or 8. I was supposed to be on 8, but then I overslept because I had a fight interview today, and I was just all over the place. If you go on my Instagram, Smitty'Wit, SMITTYWIT, you will see today's. I'm gonna post. I post a little bit of today's what I did for the fight interview, and I'm gonna post the whole thing tomorrow. It's on my story if you guys are curious. But what's the question, Ghost? Before this thing kicks us out, if this thing starts freezing, I love you guys, and I'm gonna be on tomorrow if it starts freezing. So gi, as in no gi tips. If you train, I used to train gi. What would you like to know? Oh, that's what you're saying. You're saying tips for gi. Yeah, you like tips for giving. I was like, I told you guys, I'm not tripping off the gifts. If y'all want to give gifts, thank you. I'm not really tripping too much. Not tripping too hard on it. Rob came in and gave $10 the other day. That was nice of him. I was really happy about that. I noticed I'm not really a smiley person, and that throws off my interactions with people. What should I do about it? Fucking how did this thing get in? Anyways, what should I do about it? That means you don't have charm right now, and that could be fixable. All you have to do is just work on, and don't do it with people right now, that you know personally. Well, no. You can start off looking in the mirror and smiling at yourself. I know that sounds so fucking stupid, but you need to know what you look like when you smile. Because if the advice that I was gonna give you was I thought I froze. The advice that I was gonna give you was I thought I saw something. Sorry. The advice that I was going to give you was to just smile at people, because that's how you work on your charm. But that might not be good, because you might be you're like. So what I used to do is I would go into I would look in the mirror, and I would this fucking, what is this thing? This thing is attacking me. I don't even know how these things get in, but I would just like that. I practiced this so many fucking times. That right there. And I have an underbite. I have a very ugly ass smile. But I stayed in the mirror and I just smiled like that, just over and over. And then I would get off, I'll look away and see if it's consistent. And then once you understand how you smile, then you'll be able to go and smile at people and know how to properly project your smile. Yeah, y'all gonna laugh at me, but if y'all ever see a fly coming, y'all might see me smack my face. Every fly makes me do that shit. I'm so happy I'm so authentic with you guys, but yeah, every fly makes me smack my face. So I'm pow! I'm God damn it. So I've always been like that. That's just a random thing. Maybe one day I'll be I Show Speed, right? Where I'm out and we're live streaming, and you're gonna see a fly. If you randomly see me just back like that, that's I've been doing that all my life. I don't know why, but because I'm used to like I like to like catch shit, you know, and all of a sudden like yeah. Let me see. Like go to grips. Personally, I don't think gi subs and sparring count. I think every sub counts. Every submission you do counts. I believe every submission counts. You said the movie is called Cracked Mirror. Wait. Oh. How do you came to the conclusion, Ghost? Oh yeah. Appreciate the likes, everybody. Appreciate y'all. Love you guys. Love you guys. I think what time am I gonna come on tomorrow? I might come on early because I wanna well no, the gym closes. I wanna start it's the 21st. Notice you guys have not seen me drink any Red Bull. Been drinking water. We are officially about to start fight camp, you know, or dieting. I'm about to start transitioning down. We gotta start getting rid of all the bullshit. So now you guys are seeing me drink water. Okay. Y'all might see me cheat a little bit with, you know, maybe some Red Bulls here and there, but like um I was talking shit in my interview, everybody. I was talking shit. I try my best to be like entertaining, but I was entertaining talking shit. And it looked cocky as fuck. And I was thinking about that shit. I was like, fuck. So I'm at the train. I'm big on delivering too. So I gotta train a little bit harder. I was talking shit. It just came out of me. I was like, damn it. Why'd you say that? But thank you for the likes, everybody. How far you think I can get solo training before jumping into a gym? Solo training, what? Jiu-jitsu? You can. There is no. Well, no, you could get your body prepared, but there's no such thing as solo training. Boxing, you could start shadow boxing, but you have to have some experience to be able to correct yourself. So if you do not have no experience in martial arts, you need to jump in it first, be in it for like 2, 3, I'd say about 4 years really, and then you can solo train. You can solo train and correct yourself properly. Striking, have you ever striked before? You said, nah, man, do your thing. It's all part of it. Yeah, but you just gotta be careful of the type of shit you talk. And I was talking some big shit, you know, where you're gonna have to back it up and deliver. Now I was talking shit in my last but it was comedic talking shit. This one was more a dismissive talking shit. You get what I'm saying? This dude is ducking me, so it was just kind of like baiting him, but like I'm gonna have to make sure y'all gonna see it too, because I'm very preparatory. I'm gonna make sure fight night that I come absolutely overly prepared. Y'all gonna see a version of me that y'all ain't ever seen before, because I've always been like that. If you talk shit, you need to walk shit, you know? Anyways, striking mostly, but yeah, do you have any experience striking? And if you don't, you said it's a lot to explain. I just noticed other people smile with each other, but they don't smile with me, kind of thing. It's a lot of self-reflection, Ghost. I think like it might be way more than just smiling too. That's why I've been saying communication as a martial art. Look, I'm gonna do this for you on the next live stream. I need to start breaking this shit down. The compass system that I created, I think your rapport building skills is probably not the best. Maybe, I mean, you're good with us. You're fucking phenomenal with us. Maybe this is a safe space for you. I laugh when you be talking, but maybe your presence in person probably is a little bit awkward to some people, or maybe you come off as serious. Maybe that's the case. But the point of the matter is that communication can be fixed. It's not like it's just honestly, you just don't know the techniques. That's the only thing. You just don't know the techniques, but it can be fixed. You know, someone said, I'm thinking of getting a weight sled to improve my takedowns. Are you? I think you just need to get a body and just drill takedowns. The only thing that really, honestly, there's one single technique One single technique that will get your takedowns good. It's lunges. That's it. It's lunges and front squats. That's it. I'm never telling nobody that, by the way. If someone made it this far in live, you just hit a gym. That's something I've always been hiding. It's front squats and lunges. Think of it like a challenge to yourself over everything else. You say, I smile, but half smile, not showing teeth. Like, yeah, you probably have that. Ghost, you say you was white, right? You probably have that. White people got the coldest smile when they like it's funny as fuck when they don't want you around. White culture is funny as hell. I love white people. I just had the nastiest peanuts in my life. Washing out right now. Lunges, yes. Lunges and front squats. Lunges and front squats. If you want to develop like solid fucking takedowns, like solid takedowns, lunges and front squats. If you can't do lunges, front squats. Front squats alone. Front squats and back squats. That develops the power to come up. Hello, Ace. All right. Someone said, Ghost, do you feel nervous when you talk to other people? Who knows what it could be? I think it might be in the East. Okay, I'm gonna quickly, and I'm gonna repeat this tomorrow. So there's I call it a compass system, a communication compass system, where you have vertical thinking and you have horizontal thinking. So vertical thinking was the money motion, mind, muscles, emotion kind of thing, right? This is like masculine polarity, right? So Ghost, what it seems like you're lacking is feminine polarity, meaning the West is subconscious behavior. So there might be something that you're doing subconsciously that people are looking at that's popping up on your face that gives them a bad vibe. So that's the West. If you guys want to know what I'm talking about, kind of go look at I know I have a short up. There's a short I have up. Go on my shorts, and it's gonna say West. And I think it was perceptual thinking. It was some shit I said. I forgot what it was. But that right there could be what's going on with you, Ghost. And then you have East, right? East is conscious thinking. So maybe the way you're talking to people is probably not the best. I think it might be your rapport building skills, perhaps. But we'll talk about it. But yeah, we'll talk about it. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it. It can be talked about. That's what this live is for. That's exactly what this is for. All that can be fixed. Don't think like, fuck. It's too late for me. Like, nah, bro. All that can be fixed. You say, yeah, I get nervous talking with other people. It's pretty awkward. Yeah. I was correct. Your rapport building skills is probably not the best. What the hell is rapport building for anybody that's curious? Rapport building is the art of small talk. So what I'm going to make sure I do, we're going to talk about that tomorrow. It's the art of small talk. There's actually techniques of how you talk to people, of how you ask them questions, of how you not make it awkward. Because if you're saying that it's awkward, then that means your small talk skills is terrible. And when I say, oh, it's terrible, it's okay. We can fix it. You get what I'm saying? We can fix that shit. Anyways, honestly, Ghosts, genuinely enjoy being with the people you're with at that time and express that period, your words and body language and be genuine. I think that helps, but I think the real issue is, and maybe you love being there, but I just think the polarity of the horizontal is just off. I think you weren't aware that there's actual techniques that can be done of how you can talk to people. There's actual techniques. I'll never forget, and I could tell that this person was very disappointed by this. He said, "Have you always been confident and like bombastic and communicative?" And it blew his mind. I told him, I said, "No, I had to learn how to do it." Like I spent so 20 back in 2016. Remember we was talking about 2016 earlier, the dating apps and stuff. And I said I think I was one of those guys who ruined the experience of women meeting men online. Well, I studied a lot of communication skills, and I tried it. And I had a lot of one night stands. You get what I'm saying? I had a lot of one night stands, and uh, I think that that kind of ruined my perception on dating in a way, because I thought there we go. I mastered lust, but I didn't understand love. And these past few years, few months, I started really like actually studying love, studying detachment. So that's kind of the level that I'm on right now. Detachment, for those who don't know, is basically you can love with your full heart, but you're not emotionally tied to the outcome. So that allows you to be present and honest. You know, like we'll talk about it though. There's so much shit to talk about, boys. That's why I've been I'm happy we jumped all over the place. We got all the nicks and the crannies and the what we talked about, the slavery and the Holocaust and the ICE and the God. But at the end of the day, I am a martial arts page. And the main thing I want to get to for you guys. Ooh, I never talked about art and martial arts. That's gonna be fun to talk about. The main thing I'm gonna want to definitely talk to you guys about is communication as a martial art. That's where we're heading to. Let me read what you guys said. I usually donate treats. I usually donate treats. I don't like to my BJJ gym, but those peanuts were nasty. Them peanuts must have fucked you up. Are you willing to write the word tree on a piece of paper to support the trees? Got life campaign. I made it. I mean, that's kind of counterintuitive. Waste some paper to write tree. So we killed the tree just to support the tree. I'll assume you're a man, so I'll try to have small talk. It's not just women. It's small talk in general. We'll talk about it. Don't worry. You know how people smile with their eyes? I forget. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it. How old are you, young brother? I'm 30. I am 30 years old. I don't look like it, but I'm 30. Or maybe I like when people say I look like it, but I'm young at heart, though. I think, like, the reason why I never tell people my age is because then I feel like it ages you. Like, if you say I'm this age, then I feel like that shit ages you. I feel like it ages you. I really do. Because I'm seeing, like, young people break down at, like, 23. I'm like, bro. They're like, I'm old. I'm like, what the fuck you talking about, bro? I'm 25 now. I'm like, and? Like, wasn't sure what to eat this late at night. My muscles just felt hot from working out, cardio. You need some protein. That's it. Get some protein in your body. You need some protein in your body. Is this Bad Bunny? No. I think that comes naturally. I feel that maybe you're focusing a lot on how you look and your expressions. We'll talk about it. I don't know which one it is. We'll talk. It might be rapport building. We gotta talk about, because there's 7 aspects. I'm gonna say this, and I'm about to get off this live because I gotta go do something, and it's already 11:34. Night runs, but there's understand this, Ghost. There are 7 aspects of being, and this is what I was gonna. I haven't posted my poetry on here because I talk about this on my poetry, but there's 7 islands of being. Okay, you have the natural, the identity of who you are before you met the real you. But besides that, you have mental thinking, you have physical, you have emotional, financial, spiritual, and sexual, right? So what I'm point of bringing all that up is, like, physically, how do you look? You know, like physically. Like, are you confident physically? You know, you probably gotta get your. It might not be communication skills. You might have to love yourself physically. There's a book that I read. That's the reason why I'm bald actually now. There's a book that I read a while ago. I haven't finished the book, but it's called Permanent Fashion, right? Whereas we as men need to have a default look of cleanliness, right? That makes us come present as our best self at all times, right? So what is your default permanent fashion? You get what I'm saying? That's why I'm always making sure I'm bald. You get what I'm saying? Like, I want to always make sure at any time, if I run into a baddie, you get what I'm saying? I'm ready, you know? And maybe Ghost is probably not about baddies. Maybe if you run into an opportunity, you get what I'm saying? You're ready. You feel good about yourself. You know, that's why you're supposed to. I'm not saying you don't, but I'm talking about generally brush your damn teeth. You get what I'm saying? Make sure I always, before I leave out the house, I always make sure I put on some deodorant, spray it, even before jujitsu. I will never forget. I will never forget. Because every time before I roll in jujitsu, I put on deodorant, I put on body spray, and then I make sure like I don't stink. There was like this chick that walked in. Oh my God, she was bad, you know? And she wanted to try jujitsu, right? But she was just kind of sitting like away from everybody. And I was like, hey, come roll with me, right? Like, let's go, right? And as we were rolling, she was like flirting. You smell nice. I was like, yeah, you know, permanent fashion. Maybe it's your permanent fashion, you know? You said you're crashing out like Pop the Balloon guest right now. Who? Oh, he is. Ah, good for you being hygienic though. I disagree. A man feels good after an accomplishment. Yeah, well, it's more than that though. It's more than that. Like that. It goes literally back to when I was talking about money in motion, right? Like, yeah, we feel good about our money in motion, right? Which is accomplishments. But what about your mind and your muscles? You get what I'm saying? What about that? Your mind and body. You need that on point too. That needs to be on point. It gotta be. I can't wait till I find this damn fly. I'm gonna kill that motherfucker when I get off this live. I'm killing that motherfucker before I go do what I gotta do. He dying. Not how you look. It matters. It matters how you look. Trust me, it does. It matters. You don't have to be a fucking model, but you need to have a look that you need to impress yourself. You need to have a look that you're happy with, that makes you feel good, where you've accepted that that's you. Fuck everybody else. You like what you like. And then after that, then we develop a style of speaking that's good for you, you know? It worked like, it's the same. Look, Ghost, it's the same with jiu-jitsu. The same way you're trying to learn your style, there's different submissions, there's different stuff to do. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. No. You said, sorry, Smitty. We good. I don't know what's going on. I just be talking. Maybe you said something crazy. I ain't even pay attention. Oh, you say you disagree? That's fine. That's totally fine. It's perfect. It's good you disagree. I don't want you guys fucking agreeing with me all the time. If you disagree, say it. Say why. Teach them. Rampage Foster one who did that, and he still won. He said he smelled like a skunk after it. I mean, you know, it's okay. I like smelling good. Yeah, looks do matter. You need to be satisfied with how you look. I just think you need to be satisfied with yourself. You need to be happy with yourself, because you can have all the accomplishments in the world, and still a wreck mentally and physically. You know, but I don't expect you guys to always agree with me. I love you guys. This is like this is good for Ghost. It's good for him to see different different viewpoints. It's good. There's someone else in here that's silent, probably watching, or maybe in the future. Different viewpoints. You know? All right, so I love you guys. I'm about to hop on tomorrow. I don't know. I think just look around because I want to go to the gym. Well, the gym closes at 7, so I might be on at 8 or 9 tomorrow. We'll be on for 2 hours. Again, we've been on for damn near almost, I think it's 2.5, maybe 6 hours. Or 3 hours. I don't know. But I love you guys. I'm about to hop off. I'm gonna read this last one. With Dan said, no, Kale. He said Viltrumites aren't allowed to love, but thank you. He said you can't be facet and call yourself an apple tree when you are not. Find yourself to be a fig tree. Build on that. I said facet correctly, right? I pronounced that correctly, right? All right, Speed. Love you too, bro. Have a good night. Yes, I love you all. Love you, chat. We're gonna be on tomorrow. Maybe we could talk about that. We're gonna talk about. Let me write that down. Ghost, what should I write down for tomorrow for that topic so I don't forget? Because I don't think I'm gonna watch this whole live stream because there's so live streaming every day. It's kind of hard to go back and rewatch the lives. Okay, thank you. Is that a compliment? I tried to watch the other last live, but it was just. I think if I want to properly label these lives correctly, I need to come with pre-packaged discussional topics. I think I'm gonna start doing that real soon. But right now, no. But let me see if Ghost. Let me see. Because I'm about to get off. I gotta go now. I'm way ahead. But I do want to write this down so we have something else tomorrow to talk about. Because I didn't talk about don't leave with your wallet. Let me put a star next to that. How to not be awkward around people. Thank you. How to not be awkward around people. All right, Ghost. That's going to be one of our topics tomorrow. And we're gonna keep talking about that fucking topic until you get your answer. So you know me, I deviate a lot. So I'm probably gonna talk about it. Then I'm gonna fall off topic, but we're gonna keep talking about it. Probably a couple of lives, and because it falls directly in my communication as a martial art. So we're gonna keep talking about that shit until you feel better. And then we'll have another commenter that's gonna talk about something they don't like, and we're gonna keep fucking talking about that shit until we are fucking black belts in communication. That's what we're gonna do. I love you guys. I'm about to hop off. I gotta go.